So hey, this is Todd with Shutterstock. Today we're gonna see, check it out. Everything looks like that. There I am, right there. It's exactly what I look like. Hey, what's up? It's Todd with Shutterstock, and today we're gonna be doing something a little bit different. We're gonna play some video games. Imagine a world where in virtual 3D space you could light your scenes, you could put your cameras where you want them to go, you could frame up your shot, you could block your actors, and have them sword fighting with guitars. Well, thanks to Matt Workman and the team over at Cinematography Database, that world exists. And it's a video game called CineTracer. Now, if you're not familiar with Matt Workman, check him out. He's a really cool guy. He's got a YouTube channel called Cinematography Database, and his most recent project is this. It's called CineTracer. It's basically a video game that uses the Unreal Engine 4 to previs and build storyboards for your projects. So CineTracer has been available on PC. It's still in early release mode, so changes are being pushed for it fairly regularly, but they just released a version for Mac. So I was finally able to give it a try, and been having a lot of fun with it. It's really, really cool. So I kind of wanted to show you guys. Let's dive into it. So here we are in CineTracer. So we got new project, open project. So you can actually save projects, reopen them again. But I'm gonna go ahead and go to new project. So when you hit new project, you get all these different maps, and this is really, really cool. So you have the low performance map, which is just kind of the flat map that you're gonna use to build things. So that's just like a really easy place to build stuff. You can, start with a blank slate. And then you have the medium performance maps. So these are going to be ones where the lighting can actually be changed. You hit the T key and you can, rotate between, daytime, nighttime, cloudy, sunny, all that sort of stuff. So those are really cool. And then you have the high performance maps, and these are just like really high poly, really detailed maps that you're gonna, just be able to get some really kind of cinematic looking stuff inside of. So let's just kind of, jump into one of these. Let's just do Subway, and you can choose between male or female. So here you set your project destination. So we're in this kind of city location, and you see I have this character here. She's got a jetpack. It's pretty cool. So this is kind of how you can get around. And if you want to, you can change the view. And you see here, there's all these different, it's WASD to kind of get around. So that's how you do it. So, they put all the different sort of controls up on the hub, so you can kind of see what you need to press to do what you want to do. But here I am flying around this city. And what's really cool is each of these locations. So this one was called Subway. And so what's kind of cool is they start you out in a kind of an environment where, it's almost more of a city. So if you wanted to start with that sort of a thing, and like I said, you can actually change the time of day of the scene. So, if you wanted to go for more of a magic hour feel, obviously this is a really beautiful kind of magic hour type thing. And then, nighttime, twilight, this is cloudy. So we can actually go down into the subway here. And here we go. So now we have this whole kind of subway location. We can change the lighting in here as well. And so, if you wanted to build kind of a moody scene, and you can also change the view. So I'm gonna hit V. Now we're kind of in a first person thing. And say you don't like the, the character floating around version of the game, you can actually hit Y key. And so now we're just kind of like a god cam. We're just kind of flying around the scene, and we don't have to have the character flying around. So say you have a set here, and you want to add some light. So you'd hit the tab key, and this is really cool. They have this whole menu in here. There's actors, props, building, lighting, camera. I'll get into some of that later on. Let's add a light. So here we have movie lights, practicals, grip, electric, all this sort of stuff. I'm going to go into movie lights, and here we have the tube light, aka Quasar, aka Kinoflow, whatever tube light of choice you like to use. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to import it. And so now we have this light in the scene, and look, it's reflecting off of the side over here. You're getting some really cool kind of shadows going on. See, look, kind of nice little shadow going off of that sort of column there. And you can rotate it by using the scroll wheel. And I'm just going to stick it right up here. Okay, we're just going to start building kind of a nice little scene. So here we can change the intensity. I can bring it all the way down, make it super, super bright. and you can change the color as well. So I'm gonna hit that. Just make it kind of a, we're gonna go for a creepy, moody vibe. So we'll kind of go for that classic sort of teal lighting color. And what you can do now is you just go ahead and hit the C key, and that's gonna copy it. And we'll just move it down to this wall. We'll just start kind of building a nice little creepy scene in this subway. It's like subway after dark kind of vibe. And see, look right here. You see how it's cast, what is this, a picture? It's Matt Workman, and I think that's Hoyt van Hoytema. I can't remember who is this guy. Who is that? I know that guy. What's that guy's name? I don't know who that is. I should though. I feel like I should. What a lovely picture. So if we come in here, so now we're building some light, we're getting some cool lighting going. Let's go ahead and just match up the Kino here on the other walls. Hit the C key, we'll rotate using the scroll wheel and try to get the height, you know, as close as we can so it's uniform. And so once you place something, you get this little, they call it a gizmo. It's kind of, if you do any sort of 3D or motion graphics, you've seen something like this before, but these are the different axes. So you can actually change it by hitting the R key. Now we're doing a rotate, so we'll kind of do that. It's a little bit more what we're looking for, and we actually need to do it to this one as well. I just realized. We'll rotate this one until we get that same shadow that we had over there and that we have right there. And so now we're getting kind of a nice look. Let's build a scene right here on this bench, okay? So first, let's go ahead and add our actor. So this is where things get pretty fun, but we're gonna go to actors, and we can go to CC actors, and here we have all these different actors to choose from. The CC actors are actually manipulatable, animating if you want them to be. You can move their arms and legs around. So in here, these are just kind of more simple characters. They kind of just stand. You can't do as much with them. And then there's also stand-ins, which these are just full-on static models. So if you just kind of want to have, you know, a static person in the scene. So we're gonna grab another actor. Let's do a CC actor this time, and let's just bring in Business Lady 1, and we'll use the scroll wheel to rotate. So here we go. We've got, let's just kind of line her up with the bench. And so now you get, as you can see, you get these little body controls. So the first thing I'm gonna do is move her hips, and we're just gonna sit her down on the bench, just like that. Just kind of let her take a load off. Let her relax a little bit. And you can, you know, change their facial expressions and make her mad right there. You know, make her inquisitive. Angry. Sad. Angry. Sad. So there we go. We got a nice little scene. So now we can go ahead and add a camera. So I'm going to add a camera real quick. And let's just grab, so here we have we have a dolly, got a nice Fisher tin going on here. We have a techno crane. And tripod, handheld camera, hi-hat, and boom, right here, now we have a camera. We'll spin it around. So once you add a camera, you hit the E key and you go into the camera view. So now we're in the camera view, and hitting the V key, we can actually change through different views. So now we're looking through a monitor, that's kind of cool. But this is my favorite view right here. This is basically just, you know, the camera view. So now we have this really nice sort of shot where we can actually, using the W and S key, we can actually dolly in the scene. So you could kind of put together sort of where you want your finishing location and your starting location for your dolly shot to be. We can actually change the aspect ratio of the scene. If you see up here in the top right corner, you can switch between, you know, 16:9, 2:1, like anamorphic, cinemascope, whatever you want to call it. So now we have kind of a really nice cinematic look. And if you wanted to save this shot, it's really easy. You just hit the enter key, that little click. So now what's happened is we've taken that shot and added it to our storyboard. So if you hit the B key, now here we go. We have this shot in our storyboard. We can rename this clip, so we'll just call this shot 1. And as you can see, it saves the focal length of the actual lens, and you can add a comment, all that sort of stuff. But here's the really cool part. So I'm gonna get out of this. And so what's really, really cool is now you actually have a PNG file of that shot. So say, you know, you were building actual storyboards, you could go into something like InDesign or, you know, even Photoshop, whatever you like to use, and actually put together these storyboards. It saves you a lot of time. For people like me, I can't draw. I'm horrible at drawing. Like any storyboards that I've ever I'll put a few examples in this video, but any sort of storyboards I've ever drawn were literally just stick figures, and they were helpful to nobody. So real quick, I want to give you guys a look at the building system in CineTracer. It's really awesome. It works really, really fast. So here we're going to go back to the resources tab, which is the tab key, and we're going to go to building. So here we can go to studio, and you know, this is a spot where you can kind of do some like studio stuff. So here's like a seamless paper, or you can even use like a parametric cyc wall. So you kind of place like a cyc wall here, and you could, you know, make it taller, make it wider, deeper, all that kind of stuff. And we're going to go to the building department tab here, and we're going to go to blocks. So here we can start a floor. We're going to import item. So we're just going to go ahead and place our floor here. And so you get all these little icons here, and this is where the fun begins. So you can make it smaller. You can make it by 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units. And these plus keys are going to give you the option to build a wall. So you can build a wall, and if you click on the wall, now you can change that wall to a door. If you can see that right there, or you can change it to a window, a double window, or a bigger door, all that kind of cool stuff. But we're gonna go ahead and just make that a normal wall. So I'm gonna keep clicking until I get back. And so on the floor option, you can either make a wall or make another floor. And you can just, you know, so you can really quickly build out a whole space just like that and give everything a wall. So we're gonna click here, give it a wall. With the wall selected, you can add more walls that way as well. So here, it's going to add a wall going straight. If you click on that wall and go to the left bottom key, it'll make a kind of angled wall right there. And you could even hit the C key, and what that's going to do is it's going to add like a corner. So you get a nice little kind of column corner sort of thing. So if you're building a house, that would look a little bit better than just the empty corner. So you can also add textures to all of these things. So on this outside, you just hit the paint button here, and you have all these different materials. I'm sure he's going to add more in the future, but I'm just gonna make it bricks. And if you wanted to build a roof, you could go off the top of this. You just hit that key, and you can actually click on this, and you have these different roof options. So you can basically create roofs and you know, connect them, make another one. We're going to turn that back into a roof as well. And so we built really quickly a very simple house that we can add a camera to and light, and you know, you can change the textures of these floors here. Let's make them nice wood floors. And if I wanted to, I could create, you know, a virtual version of this room I'm in right now. This is basically a virtual version of the room that I'm in. He's lit by what looks like an aperture light dome with like a 120D or a 300D, which is literally exactly what's right there. It's right there. So you know, and back here we've got the you know, the Quasar Kinoflow tube light. Boom, there's one right there. Just to go back through some of the other menus, so in the lighting, there's practicals. You got all these like kind of lamps, and you know, like a floor lamp, a torch, flush mount, all that kind of stuff. There's even a grip department where you know, now you can hop on this. Whoa, hey, we got a little traffic jam here. So another thing that I really wanted to try was to take a scene from a pre-existing movie with particularly, you know, interesting cinematography and see if I can recreate that in CineTracer. So I had Logan kind of assign me a shot, and this is the shot that he told me to do. It's from No Country for Old Men, and so I set out to try and recreate that, and here are the results that I got. So pretty close. I mean, if you go back and forth between them, but you know, so you know, you have these kind of headlight, you know, car headlight sort of shadows on the walls. And let me show you kind of how I did that really quick. So I built this little hotel room, and we'll change the time of day. I built this just tiny little kind of hotel room situation, and just kind of roughed it in, you know, gave it, you know, put in some props. For the headlights, I kind of strategically placed some Lico lights on the outside. They're kind of really tight beam angle. I mean, it's really close, and it's kind of a good way to convey or come up with an idea. You know, if you wanted to kind of pre-light and come up with a look for a scene, this is a great way to do it. So I hope all of you give CineTracer a try. It's a really cool, fun tool. and I'm having a lot of fun playing around with it. I actually set out to make, you know, a 3D version of our whole office, and it only took me about 20 minutes to get, you know, somewhat close. As always, I hope you found this video helpful. Give CineTracer a try, check out Cinematography Database, see what kind of changes are being pushed to the software, and stay up to date with what Matt Workman's up to. And be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I don't know why I feel like I have to say that every time. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.